We've clearly got the pace.
Ahead, our gap to the car in front is 3.2 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 9 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:17.7. You're closing in by 7/10 per lap.
That is music to my ears, guys. Turbo 51 over here. I hope you're having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. Guys, we are back with the F1 2020 My Team career mode. And guys, the season has only got 3 rounds left to go. We have got Mexico, Brazil, and only Abu Dhabi, the 3 remaining tracks. Now guys, before we do anything else, remember to drop a like down below on the video. It's only going to take you a nifty 2 seconds, and I do highly appreciate it. Now guys, the race we're heading towards for this episode is the Mexican Grand Prix, and once again, I know you guys have seen the length of the video and you're like, what the hell has he done now? You guys know my rule. The longer the video, the better the video, the better the racing. So, you guys are in for a cracker. I hope you stay tuned. Now guys, heading in towards this week in Mexico, you guys have this end part of the season. We haven't really been focusing too much on upgrading the car. We have been saving money for heading into season 2. The car's got to get, I'm going to tell it to you guys, that the car's got to get a complete makeover. The team is going to be a little bit rebranded and with some new fancy colors in, but I'm not spoiling anything just yet. Guys, please remember to go down in the description down below and check out all those links. If you want to share this video or my channel, make sure to follow me on social media, tag me in the post or the story, and I will give you a shout out in a future video as well as on my social medias. Now guys, heading in towards this weekend, Mexico, it really quickly went from becoming one of my favorite tracks on the F1 calendar to losing the love I had for it really quickly. This track tends to become a little bit tedious at some stages. I don't dislike the track, but I've grown fonder of other tracks. I learned to like and to love this track, and it just stopped at a certain point. But it's still a track that I thoroughly enjoy driving, and it's a track that I wouldn't want to disappear from the calendar at all. Heading towards the performance shot, guys, we've got Mercedes AMG Petronas still leading the way from BWT Racing Points in P2. Red Bull have now surpassed Ferrari and are third in the performance index. Ferrari P4, Renault P5, McLaren P6, Alpha Tauri P7, followed closely behind by ourselves at iiTzAssassins Boosted Racing, with Alfa Romeo right on our heels, Haas in P10, and Williams are still bringing up the rear end of the field. Now guys, heading in towards this weekend, like I said, those of you guys that haven't watched the earlier races in this season, guys, trust me, it's been a banger of a rookie season as a team and as a driver in Formula 1. And like I said, I honestly don't care what happens in these final few races because we've literally had the dream rookie season. You guys can quickly see here on screen a few mistakes I made in practice. Nothing too hefty except this one right here. But like I said, I do not care how these races end up. Even if we don't get any points for the rest of the season, I am satisfied because the season was an absolute banger, but we've still got a few races to go and we still need to aim high, so let's head straight to quali. It's quality time here in Mexico, and as you guys can see, accidentally, my career mode helmet has made it into the My Team universe, but don't worry, we will sort that out for the race. Let's see, at the end of our first run in Q1, we went initially P3, but at the end of Quali 1, we are all the way down in P19. You can see here's this beautiful S section at Mexico, where it just keeps getting quicker. It starts slow, and it keeps getting quicker. We come towards the end of our final lap in Q1, we come across the line, and it's going to be P10. Sweet Mama Jack, we are into Quali 2. Sorry, I wanted to say that for such a long time now. We are into Q2, guys. My teammate P21 Jack, what are you doing? Guys, literally, I know that I said I was going to give Jack Aitken a chance till the end of the season to prove himself by getting a World Championship point. I've made up my mind. I am getting a new driver at the end of this season. And guys, at the end of the episode, we will be scouting for a new driver. So stay tuned to the end so you guys can see who we are considering for season 2 of our My Team career mode. Now, guys, heading towards, you guys can see the end of our first lap there in Q1 didn't go as planned, but now we are actually dead last. We P16. Guys, I honestly don't think the car has the pace for Q3 because we have gone down the ranks, especially in the engine and chassis department. The past few episodes because we've been focusing on the aero so much. I honestly think that we do not have the potential for Q3, but I'm always going to try like usual because as you guys, if you've been a regular watcher of this career mode, you will have would have known that we had even surprised ourselves a few times in qualifying this first season. But you guys see we're heading now in towards the second sector here of the Mighty mode. It's a very tight second sector. I actually almost exceed track limits there by corner cutting into this next double right-hander, get the power down very I actually ran a really awkward line there, but I get the power down nice and early into the S section. Don't be scared to mount the curbs here. They can throw the car, but you just have to be very precise with your throttle. What's the word I'm looking for? For the amount of throttle that you apply. Heading it towards the final sector into this beautiful stadium section, which used to be a baseball stadium. Now it's the home of Formula 1 and racing. Through this very tight and twisty final part of the lap, into the final corner, get the power down as early as possible, hug the inside, and we qualify in P! Oh boy. Okay, like I said, we're not going to get into Q3, but guys, I think it's literally, okay, so P16. It's P15, not the worst thing in the world. So I can live with that. Our rivalry with Charles, we are starting to lose a bit of ground, but like I said, nothing too major. And guys, without further ado, it's time for the Mexican Grand Prix. Let's get pumped up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. Lego! And I'll see you guys on the grid.
Welcome along to the most popular city in North America and home now to the Mexico City Grand Prix. It's a sellout crowd as usual here at one of the shortest circuits on the Formula 1 calendar. So who, I wonder, will the crowd cheer on today to the top step of the podium? We're a long way above sea level here in Mexico today, which could pose some cooling issues for the cars as they make their way around this 2.6 mile lap. 17 corners with top speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour, and watch out for potential overtaking into turns 1 and 4. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Now, I want to ask you about Lewis Hamilton. There's a real chance they could win the title today. So how do you think they'll handle the pressure?
I think as long as they keep their mind on the task and not its historical significance, they'll be just fine. This is a race just like any other. You do the best you can and accept that sometimes things are going to happen outside of your control. If they can approach today with that attitude, the pressure shouldn't be a problem.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Ricciardo, Sergio Perez, and Sainz, Stroll, Ocon, Magnussen, and Parker, Grosjean, Vettel. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Antonio Giovinazzi and Russell, Aitken, Gasly, Daniel Kvyat, and Lando Norris. Raikkonen, Latifi, Verstappen, and Alexander Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Let's see if we can keep the momentum up. Let's get another podium.
That is the idea, Jeff, even though I highly doubt that we are going to get another podium today. Nevertheless, we will always try. Guys, actually we started P10 thanks to a lot of penalties. We're going to go mediums to a double soft. The one stop here in Mexico really isn't the strategy to go for. Trust me on that one. I've bitten that bullet before and it killed me. I didn't bite in the right fashion. In any case, guys, we are going to have a little bit of extra fuel because it's a long and powerful lap. But before we race, you know what to do. Jam with me. Oh yeah. Guys, are you guys ready for the Mexican Grand Prix? We've got a Mercedes front row lockout, and it's for the World Championship. 5 red lights, and it's go, go, go for the Mexican Grand Prix. Bottas and Hamilton will have a drag race towards the first corner, but they've got Leclerc and Ricciardo right behind them to worry about. Look at the fantastic launch that Ricciardo has had. He is going in between the two Mercedes. He's inside a Mercedes sandwich. Hamilton on the outside, Bottas on the inside. Leclerc has got no place to go. Ricciardo is up the inside of Hamilton. Will he hang it around the outside? Yes, he does. Up the inside, he's trying to squeeze Lewis to the outside. Let's go, Danny Rick, in that freaking banana peely type of Renault. I still don't like the yellow color, but it's still, the car looks a lot better than it did 2 years ago. Into the next corner, we've got Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc side by side, with actually my front nose there coming into the picture. We'll jump back to our start in just a second. Leclerc up the inside, he defends from Perez. Oh, and Sainz gives me a little bit of a nudge there, a massive moment there between myself and Sainz, but I keep the car on the straight and narrow, and we are still ahead of Carlos Sainz. But let's go back. We start side by side with Kevin Magnussen, and as we head towards the first corner, you guys can see I struggled to get off the line due to me being on the less grippy medium tires to everybody around me being on the softs. Vettel gets a beautiful run into the first corner. We kamikaze dive Vettel, nearly run into the back of Magnussen, but keep our front nose. And ahead of us, it's 3 wide between the Racing Point, McLaren and Renault, but we go up the inside as Sainz has a beautiful exit coming out of T3. We are literally straight through the middle of Stroll and Ocon, and now we head towards Carlos Sainz. Another kamikaze dive up the inside of Carlos Sainz. A little bit of contact made, but still nothing too hefty. And we are now up into P6 behind the Ferrari and the pink Mercedes of Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez. And guys, that little nudge from Sainz was probably just a bit of payback for me doing the kamikaze dive. So GG Sainz. But guys, one thing now is, like I said, with the strategy, how all the strategies are going to pan out is the guys starting on the softs are either going to do soft mediums, soft medium softs, or soft medium mediums. So no matter how you look at it, I'm doing a medium soft. I'm going to have the freshest soft tires at the end of the race on low fuel, which is a very lethal combination at the end of this race, because Mexico loves the soft tires when the car is light. If the car is heavy with fuel like it is now, the soft tires overheat like a son of a gun, and they don't have any grip after lap 5. But you guys can see currently I have got less grip than all the guys around me on the softs. So if Sainz decides to challenge me, I will let Sainz through. But I know by the time we get to lap 7, 8, 9 roundabout there, I will be quicker than Sainz. You guys can see I go slightly defensive because I'm not just going to give the position to Sainz, but he's got DRS on this almost never-ending pit straight, and he's right around the outside. We fall in behind him. You guys know my strategy always when I'm in this situation. Get into the slipstream and steal DRS as much as you can, because I also have to say, the McLaren of Sainz was looking really strong this weekend. I don't know what Norris was doing, but Sainz was really strong in this race. So I knew if I could stick with Sainz, I had a good opportunity to get some solid points here today. Now guys, obviously, I know everybody is so tired of seeing the Mercedes win, but this Mercedes are just too strong for Ricciardo to keep them behind, and Ricciardo falls back into P3, and Lewis is now up into P2, chasing after his teammate as well as his championship rival, Valtteri Bottas. We're now looking at a fight for the wooden spoon between Antonio Giovinazzi and George Russell. Heading through these first sequence of corners, Russell actually defends beautifully there from Giovinazzi, but Gio gets a fantastic exit as well as has DRS. Then here comes the Alpha Tauri of actually Danny Kvyat, who's trying to get the move done on not just the Alfa Romeo but the Williams as well. He gets the Williams but not the Alfa Romeo, and you've got Lando Norris in that little fight as well. But if you look at where Sainz is and where Norris is not where he's supposed to be. You guys can see we actually have now caught up to the back end of Sainz again, and guys, what did I say? Lap 7, 8 or 9? Look what lap it is at the top of your screen. It's lap 8, and the soft tire runners are already starting to struggle a hell of a lot. We are right around the outside of Carlos Sainz. A little bit of an aggressive defensive move there from Carlos, but we get the move done. GG's. We are back up into P6, and we are only 2.6 seconds behind Perez, guys. It's not a massive gap like I thought it would be. Sainz actually at the end of the next lap, lap 9, dives it into the pit lane along with Sebastian Vettel. So these guys are probably doing soft mediums. I'm correct about the first part, the first swap onto mediums. We will see later on in the race if they go onto a second set of mediums or onto a second set of softs. But now we jump on board with Lewis Hamilton at the end of lap 10, who is coming into the pit lane to strap on a second set of soft tires. So Hamilton is trying to go very aggressive to try and catch his teammate Bottas. The fight between the two Mercedes boys, guys, I really think is going to go to the wire, because Hamilton and Bottas are really fighting fiercely. Leclerc and Ricciardo do exactly the same as Hamilton and go on to a second set of softs, as well as Sergio Perez. So I think Ricciardo pitted the lap. No, Ricciardo didn't pit actually. Hamilton comes out just ahead of Romain Grosjean in the Haas and my teammate Jack Aitken. Now Romain Grosjean started this race on the hard tires, so he's going to go a fair bit into this race before he has to make a pit stop. Here we now jump on board with Valtteri Bottas at the end of lap 11 as he is now into the pit lane, onto a second set of soft tires to cover off his teammate Lewis Hamilton. Guys, I think Mercedes have got the hardest choice to make now, to choose between their drivers Bottas and Hamilton for the championship. But if I were Mercedes, I'll just tell them, let them race. Mercedes are literally, if they finish 1-2 in this race, Mercedes will steal the Constructors' Championship, and then there's no point in telling Hamilton and Bottas, no, you need to win or you need to win. Let them race. Let them race. You guys can see Hamilton has caught up a bit to the rear end of Bottas, but Bottas had about a 6-7 second gap. So Lewis has still got a lot of work to do in this Grand Prix. He wants to catch and pass his teammate. You guys can see it's a fierce battle between Leclerc, my teammate, and Perez. And guys, this is actually helping me out a lot, because I am now in the lead of the Grand Prix, but only because I haven't pitted yet. And my teammate and Grosjean are holding up all my rivals who were not far ahead of me. And now you've even got the rivals fighting with one another to see who can get through the quickest. Perez gets the move done on Leclerc, but look at that, right behind them, it is Sainz, then Vettel. And I think even, yeah, there's the second racing point of Stroll. Well, all we need now is Esteban Ocon to join this fight, who is behind Stroll a fair bit, but who is behind Stroll. If he joins this fight, it's going to be an insane battle for P4. I mean, I don't think anybody is going to touch Ricciardo today, if I have to be deadly honest. But we'll see what happens. We now jump on board with Sergio Perez, who is now the next person in line to try and make a move on my teammate Jack Aitken. Here we go, up the inside. Perez will get the move done heading into the stadium section. Beautiful move there from Sergio Perez. And will he have enough grip to actually be within 1 second of Grosjean as we head onto the main straight? I honestly think he will, because he already looks like he's just 2 car lengths behind. Sergio Perez is on a mission here today. And also, you guys remember, it's the Mexican Grand Prix. Sergio Perez is a Mexican, so he is trying to put on a performance in front of his home crowd. Here goes Sergio Perez right around the inside of Grosjean. He's now up into, I think it's P6. Leclerc gets the move done on my teammate as he re-overtakes. Did he actually get overtaken by Sainz or not? I actually did not pay attention. Not the point. We come towards the end of that lap, and Leclerc does exactly the same to Grosjean, which Perez did to my teammate Aitken. And now actually Sainz is doing to my teammate Aitken what Perez did to him, and that is now Sainz up a position. Next to fall into the clutches, next for my teammate to fall into somebody's clutches, it is Sebastian Vettel. But Vettel gets an absolutely terrible run through that final corner. My teammate dives it into the pit lane, and Vettel is now has made a very, very bad mistake, and he is now under heavy pressure from the racing point of Lance Stroll and the second runner of Esteban Ocon. And guys, literally all these cars are fighting for P4 in this Grand Prix. 3 wide heading into the first corner. Stroll, Ocon, Vettel. Vettel goes around the outside. Stroll is inside as a Renault and Ferrari sandwich. Beautiful running here from the guys. Ocon mounts that inside curve of turn 3 and bounces the car very unceremoniously. It's a drag race between Vettel and Stroll into this next part of the track, but Stroll defends well, actually takes the position from Vettel. Vettel cost himself a lot of time through that final corner, and I think he actually cost himself more than we only realize now. You guys see, finally it's my turn to dive it into the pit lane. On lap 16, going onto our first set of soft tires. There are still 20 laps to go onto a set of softs. The green light goes, and we are now on our way to finish, or well, no, not to finish, but to have our very aggressive, the aggressive part of our race starts now. So it is myself. We are going to come out just behind Lance Stroll, maybe even behind Vettel, because Vettel has got massive overspeed. Beautiful speed there from Vettel, but we're going to go for the kamikaze dive up the inside. A beautiful move, no contact made whatsoever, just the grip is there, and we are now back up into P9, chasing after Lance Stroll. in P8. Now guys, remember what I said, every time the pit stops commence, when the pit stops are done, I will be on the freshest and softest tire. So I am going to be, literally like I said, from this point in the race, I am going to be super duper aggressive. You guys can see I nearly run into the back of Stroll, who is being held up by the still running hard tire Grosjean. We go up the inside as we enter the stadium section. A beautiful, beautiful move there. Nothing a Stroll could have done there. I've just got the grip and I can brake so much later than these guys. And already I am sniffing the gearbox oil of Romain Grosjean. We pull out to the inside. We will have DRS and actually overtake to our disposal as well. But guys, look at Lance Stroll. He actually steals my slipstream as well as my DRS, and he nearly does a defensive move to take back the position. He overtakes Grosjean, but nearly catches me napping there. That's why I swerved so violently in front of Grosjean to break the slipstream of Stroll. Well done there. Stroll had some beautiful racecraft there. We now come back to the man we fought at the beginning of this race, Carlos Sainz. We go around the outside. Nothing that Sainz can do. He is on all the medium tires, then my fresher softs. Up the inside, a little bit of a squeeze there towards the corner, but I had to be aggressive, guys. The quicker I get these moves done, the better, because I know I've got the pace to chase after Leclerc and Perez. We now jump back on board with Lance Stroll. There's a little bit of a weird jerk with his steering wheel there. Don't know what happened there. The game had a little bit of a moment there. But Stroll is trying to go right around the outside of Carlos Sainz, who is on, once again, on mediums compared to softs, which are similar in age. So the softs will be quicker at this stage. So now Sainz is under major pressure from Stroll and Vettel. Into the fourth corner, will Vettel go around the outside? He does, even before they get to the corner. But guys, I feel Sainz is going to be a very big threat at the end of this race, because the mediums at the end, they are not as strong as the softs, but they last the entire final stint. They don't drop off at all. So Sainz is going to have consistent quick pace in the final stint if he does go onto the mediums. If he goes onto the softs, we're even screwed a little bit more, because like I said at the beginning of the race, that McLaren is fast, and it's super fast. You've got Bottas leading the way from Hamilton P2, Ricciardo P3, Perez P4, Charles Leclerc is in P5, but he is under pressure from myself in P6. We have caught up to the rear end of the Ferrari, around the outside. Beautiful move there around the outside, no squeezing from my side whatsoever, and that is us now up into P5, ahead of Charles Leclerc at P6. Beautiful move there. We now chase after Sergio Perez. Then you've got Perez's teammate, Lance Stroll in P7. Carlos Sainz is now in P8. I think Sebastian Vettel might have pitted, guys. I think he might have pitted at the start of this lap. So Sainz is in P8. P9 is Esteban Ocon. And in P10, it is the first AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri have been very, very quiet in this race. So it's good to see them for the first time. But Pierre Gasly is in P10 for AlphaTauri. We now jump onto the end of lap 20, guys. And this is now, no, it's not lap 20. It's a little bit later in the race. Sorry, I couldn't see properly on the steering wheel there. But Bottas is into the pit lane, strapping on his prescribed set of mediums. Remember the rule is you have to use 2 different tire compounds within a Formula 1 Grand Prix. He went double soft, so he had to use either the mediums or the hards, and I do not understand why you would opt for the hard tires. So Bottas is onto his set of mediums. We come out ahead of Bottas, actually, guys, so we will still be leading the way after all these guys have made their second necessary pit stop. But I think obviously before I make my stop, Bottas will catch me and overtake me. I really think that. Hamilton is now into the pit lane for his prescribed set of medium tires. Here he goes, off of the softs onto the mediums. And guys, Hamilton was getting significantly closer to Bottas. If you guys saw when I ran through the top 10, Hamilton really caught up to Bottas, but this time Mercedes has given Bottas the benefit of the doubt and have given him the undercut. So Bottas has now extended his lead over Lewis Hamilton as he resumes in net P1, well, net P2, I'm in P1, but you guys know what I mean. You guys can see all these double soft stint runners are going onto their sets of mediums, and guys, this is why I went mediums, softs, because the mediums, in my opinion, are better at the beginning of the race because they don't overheat the whole time, and the softs are better at the end because you are on light fuel. So everything is looking very juicy. You got to see now onto, I think this is lap 26 or 28. No, it has to be 26 because, or 25 even, because I can remember I had 10 laps for my final set of softs. You got to see, no point in fighting. Like I said, but I knew Bottas would catch me. Bottas is now back into the lead of the Grand Prix. And guys, this lap where Hamilton overtook me, I think it is actually the lap where I am coming into the pit lane to strap on my second set of soft tires. But you guys can see, I steal the slipstream of Hamilton. And guys, my race is with this whole group. Leclerc, I think that's Raikkonen, That's the Heart of Magnussen. My fight is with these guys to see if I can secure P4 in this race. And guys, once again, how do we keep doing this? Our dream season is just continuing. Our dream rookie season. I mean, for a rookie team in Formula 1, we have outperformed ourselves hand over fist in this whole season. And honestly, guys, like I said in one of the previous videos, I'm running the AI at 110. These are the max AI the game can bring, and we are actually doing fantastic. We now jump on board with my teammate Jack Aitken, guys, and guys, this made me a bit cross because the team knew that I was coming in at the end of this lap, and now they pitted Jack. So you guys know how the game works, and the Formula 1 game works. When you, not that it's really a double take, you guys can see I'm only entering the final sector now. But because Jack pitted ahead of me, my team is going to be stupidly slow. And I'm going to have something like a 4-second pit stop. 4, 5, maybe 6-second pit stop. And I want to fight for P4. How the hell am I going to do that now? Because losing 2-3 seconds is losing 2-3 seconds, which in Formula 1 is a hell of a lot. So you can see I'm coming into the pit lane, and I already knew I was screwed. Bottas and Hamilton are away. Ricciardo is going to pass us now. He's on the main straight. Then you've got Perez, who I think I can catch. And then it's Leclerc. Let's see how close to Charles Leclerc we actually come out. You can see a 4-second pit stop. Ah, no! Coming out of the pit lane. There goes Leclerc. Guys, oh, there's yellow flags ahead. Yellow flags ahead, guys. Is that for Ricciardo or for Perez? Because they're the only drivers in that section. And I think it's Perez because Ricciardo is still going quickly. His dot is going quickly. No, don't tell me it's Sergio Perez. Through the corner. Let's keep an eye on the left-hand side of the screen. Sergio Perez is out of the session. Guys, Checo Perez is out of his home Grand Prix. What happened? Did his engine just, yup, his engine just said to here and no more. Guys, that is so sad because Perez was driving an absolutely phenomenal Grand Prix here today. Sad day for Checo Perez. So that means Ricciardo is in P3 and I am now fighting for P4 with Charles Leclerc. I don't even have to catch Sergio Perez. But around the outside, we literally caught Leclerc at the end of our lap, guys. That is how much quicker we are on these softs. I took about 1.6 seconds out of Charles Leclerc. And guys, as soon as I realized this and I saw that there was still a fair few laps to go, I realized I can catch Ricciardo. It's going to come down to the wire, like literally it's going to come down to the final lap. But if I really work this, I can catch down Ricciardo and steal a podium from under the Australian's nose. So you can see we head now onto lap 31, and I think Jeff is actually going to talk now, if I'm not mistaken. Let's listen carefully. Okay, no, but let's look at the gap, guys. 3.7 seconds. 3.7 seconds is all there is to it, and there's still 6 laps to go, 5 laps now. So we really have to be on our toes. It's down to 3.2 as we start lap 32. We've clearly got the pace.
Ahead, our gap to the car in front is 3.2 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 9 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:17.7. You're closing in by 7/10 per lap.
That is music to my ears, guys. 3/4 of a second per lap. And I've also got the fastest lap to my name, by the way. So I'm getting a bonus point at this stage of the, or as things stand, at this stage of the race. I will be getting an extra bonus point at the end of this Grand Prix for having the fastest lap and being within the top 10. You can see, this is my teammate Jack Aitken fighting over the wooden spoon. I think it's like for P17.
Those ahead of you. Okay, gap ahead is 2.1 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 10 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:17.7. You're gaining by a full second per lap. Good job.
4 laps to go, and the gap is underneath 2 seconds. If you guys quickly glanced over to the left hand side there, we now jump on board with Carlos Sainz, and I told you guys he was going to be strong at the end of the race, overtaking the 1 remaining racing points in this Grand Prix, around the outside of Stroll to the inside, back to the outside. But he has got fresher medium tires, and I think Carlos will have the exit. DRS open. There will be nothing that Lance Stroll can do about Carlos Sainz, and Sainz is now up into P5 if I'm not mistaken. It's either P5 or P6. But that is a beautiful move from Carlos Sainz. They are actually still battling. Stroll is not giving this up. Around the outside of the double right-handed, Sainz tries to get the move done, but he still can't. Heading into the S section, will it be Sainz or Stroll? Sainz gets up the inside, and that's a fantastic move from the Spaniard there. Beautiful racing there from Sainz. And now, guys, we head on to the penultimate lap of the Mexican Grand Prix. 1.6 seconds is all there's in it between myself and Daniel Ricciardo. Let's see what we can do here. Through this next part, get the car turned in. Beautiful line through there. And you guys can see I'm being super aggressive. I'm driving for as if my life is depending on it, because I can honestly win this race. Not win, get P3. Why do I always want to win? It's part of being competitive. But we are busy fighting. 1.3 seconds, 1.2 seconds. Ricciardo's tires must be falling off the cliff. And I know that what I said earlier in the race is that the mediums don't fall off. Ricciardo must have done something to let these mediums fall off the cliff, guys. I thought Jeff was talking there for a quick split second. You can see into the S section. We are underneath a second now. And I can tell you guys that on that little back straight heading into the stadium section, we did have DRS. Bottas comes across the line to start the final lap of the Mexican Grand Prix ahead of his teammate Lewis Hamilton. Mercedes will seal the Constructors' Championship for Season 1 in a dominant fashion. But as you guys can see, into the stadium section, we are so close to that yellow and black Renault of Ricciardo. And I have to say, the Renault actually looks very good with the yellow tires, but that's not what we're going to look at now. We start the final lap of the Mexican Grand Prix. Ricciardo v O'Connor, as you guys know me in the game, V turbocharged 51. Here we go down the main straight. Here we go. You guys can see we are closing, but not by enough. And I'm going to have to take the esports line through these first three corners, and I'm going to have a stonking exit coming out of this triple. Well, it's basically a triple chicane. But here we go onto the back straight. DRS is open. Overtake mode is engaged. We're running rich mixture. Everything is going for this kamikaze dive time. Here we go up the inside. No contact whatsoever, but we run it a bit wide. Into the next corner, I have to give Ricciardo the space. Oh, tag slapper into the double right-hander. Can we get the move out of Ricciardo? Will we squeeze into the outside? Yes, we do. Guys, with literally a sector and a half to go, we steal P3 from under Ricciardo's nose. Let's have a replay of this. Ricciardo can still catch me, though. I can't get complacent because there's still one DRS zone to go. Look at this, guys. No contact whatsoever. I literally kamikaze dive my car over that inside curb. Up the inside, I get the tag slapper, leave Ricciardo more than enough room through the double right-hander, and we even still leave him room there to get the power down. But it was an absolutely sensational move for the final podium positions. Bottas comes through the final corner to take the win here in Mexico, and the championship rivalry between Hamilton and Bottas is heating up. Hamilton P2, look how close Ricciardo is to me, but close but no cigar. Into the stadium as the fireworks, the confetti and everything is out for the winner. But guys, what a race. P10 to P3. I've stolen it from Ricciardo, but this is an amazing feeling. We take P3 here in Mexico, and Jeff is even rendered speechless because he says absolutely nothing. P3, baby, P3.
That's a spectacular victory then, and with it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Lewis Hamilton takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
I have to give it to Parker. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
It's another clear win for Mercedes as they managed to secure the Constructors' title. An incredible performance for the whole team. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you? You must be thrilled to be up on the podium. It's safe to say you're smashing everyone's expectations, isn't it? Was today a good day for you? Appreciate your time.
Guys, I still can't believe it. On the final lap, we steal the podium from Daniel Ricciardo. I think he would be so salty after this, but that's racing. That is racing. And guys, I'm going to say it again, but I'm going to say it for the last time now. I don't care how the final 2 rounds go in Brazil and in Abu Dhabi. We have had the dream rookie season, and to expect more would be a bit selfish, in my opinion. But guys, now we jump to, let's address the elephant in the room. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, unfortunately, I will not be re-signing Mr. Jack Aitken, even unless he wins the final 2 races. Then I will re-sign him. But we all know that is not happening. Now, looking at the driver market, first of all, guys, I'm going to look at Kimi Räikkönen. He has not yet announced his retirement, and Kimi has got 100 experience. Now, if I want to hire Kimi, I'm going to have to save up literally every single cent I have. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to Kimi's expected amount, but we'll see. Then I've got Sergio Perez on my list. One of the latest members is Mr. Danny Kvyat. I'm also really thinking of signing Kvyat. Kvyat's would be a good necessity for the team. And then Norris, I'm still thinking about Lando Norris, guys. Sainz, I'm taking into consideration. I've removed Esteban Ocon because he was good at the beginning of the season, but not anymore. I am most definitely looking at Pierre Gasly, and the latest person that I've been looking at is Kevin Magnussen. Now, for those of you guys that know me, I'm not a big fan of K-Mag in real life, but I feel K-Mag could be a very good necessity towards the team, and I would love to get K-Mag on board. But here's the guy that I am pulling a lot towards. The most underrated man in Formula One, in my opinion, Antonio Giovinazzi. Guys, I feel Antonio deserves a better car than the Alfa Romeo, and I feel that we can give him that car in Season 2. I have removed all the F2 drivers that I would have looked at, because, guys, we are heading in towards a midfield battle next season, and I'm gonna need a teammate that can support me through everything. So De Vries is out, Hubert is out, Matsushita is out, and you guys can see we have recently had a massive influx of cash, and I'm not gonna spend anything on our facilities for the rest of the season, because if I can land someone like Kimi Räikkönen or Sergio Perez, trust me, I'm gonna go for it. But for those of you guys that are wondering, the main people I'm looking at are Kimi Räikkönen, Antonio Giovinazzi, Danny Kvyat, Pierre Gasly, Lando Norris, and Carlos Sainz. So basically the 2 Alfa Romeo boys, the 2 Alfa Tauri boys, and the 2 McLaren boys. Now guys, like I said, I am really thinking about Lando Norris, about removing him from the list, because he hasn't performed these last few races, and I need a driver like Sainz or like Gasly who are consistently in the points. I can't afford someone like Leclerc or Vettel yet. That'll come later on in our career. But I really think if we can land someone like Kimi Räikkönen, and then at the end of our season he decides to hang up his boots, we will have a championship winning car ready for Season 3. Then I can get someone like, I don't know, Sergio Perez, Max Verstappen maybe, Charles Leclerc. If we want Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas, the possibilities are endless. But if I have to be honest, the 3 people I'm looking at the most are Räikkönen, Gasly, and Giovinazzi. Those are my 3 biggest look tos, and obviously you guys can realize I'm looking at Kimi the most. But we'll see how it goes. Guys, that has been the video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying till the end. Please, if you haven't done it yet, drop a like down below on the video. It's only going to take you a nifty 2 seconds, and from my side, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Make sure to go check out those links in the description down below. If you share this video with your friends or my channel, tag me in the post or the story, and I will give you a shout out in a future video as well as on my social media. And finally, if this is your first time here on TurboFox RacerZ and you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe down below. Don't forget to ding that bell to never miss an awesome future episode just like this one. You guys have been amazing. Our dream season continues, but there's only 2 rounds to go, Brazil and Abu Dhabi, and then it's time to completely renew the team. Guys, I can't wait for it. I'll see you guys next time. Love you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Cheers!